Arcadian Vanguard presents the Wrestling News in your daily wrestling newscast for Thursday, November 10th, 2022. Good morning, I'm Mike Sempervive. We begin with AEW Dynamite, which aired live last night on TBS from the Agganis Arena in Boston. In the main event, Bryan Danielson defeated Sammy Guevara in a best 2 out of 3 falls match. Danielson won the first fall by disqualification when Guevara threw a steel chair at his face outside the ring.
Buying her husband, Sammy Guevara, some time. And
holy smokes, oh my God.
Sammy just winged that chair at Bryan Danielson right in front of the referee.
The chair shot seemed to legitimately injure Danielson, resulting in swelling around his left eye and bleeding for the remainder of the match. Guevara won the second fall of the match by pinfall, and Danielson took the deciding fall via submission. The show was highlighted by several impassioned promos building storylines that lead into Full Gear later on this month. These included a pre-taped promo from MJF from the Pardon My Take podcast.
On my big return, the spotlight was on a press conference. Well, know this, John. On November 19th at Full Gear in the tri-state area, Newark, New Jersey, in the Prudential Center. I am not waiting for the spotlight anymore. I am grabbing it, and you are going to have to take it out of my cold, dead hands, John. Your boy William Regal bet on the wrong horse. I don't need a Dynamite diamond ring to knock your lights out. Because come Full Gear, the devil gets his due.
Later in the show came an in-ring response from MJF's Full Gear opponent, AEW World Champion Jon Moxley.
When you step into the ring in your hometown in Newark, New Jersey at Full Gear, just remember one thing. Everything you've done up to this point has been easy.
There was also a heated exchange between Saraya and Britt Baker, during which Saraya revealed she's been cleared to wrestle and intends to face Baker at Full Gear. Samoa Joe turned on his former ally Wardlow following Wardlow's quick and successful TNT title defense against Arya Daivari. While Wardlow was distracted by Powerhouse Hobbs on the entrance ramp, Joe blindsided him with his Ring of Honor World TV title belt, then choked him out. The opening match of the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament took place on the show, with Ethan Page defeating Eddie Kingston. Page advances to the semifinals to face the winner of tomorrow's Bandito vs. Roosh match on Rampage. The finals of the tournament will be held at Full Gear on November 19th. We'll have spoilers for Friday's Rampage coming up at the end of the broadcast. Jeff Jarrett appeared once again at the side of Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh following Lethal's victory over Trent of Best Friends, and it was announced that he'd be teaming with Lethal to take on Darby Allin and Sting at Full Gear. In other results, FTR and The Acclaim beat Swerve in Our Glory and the Gun Club when Anthony Bowens pinned Austin Gunn and Jamie Hayter defeated Sky Blue. In ratings news, Tony Khan revealed some of AEW's United Kingdom viewership numbers in a tweet yesterday afternoon. Crediting ITV head of scheduling strategy John Williams for his information, Khan stated that September 2022 viewership in the UK was up 14% from September 2021, while October 2022 was up 12% year over year. Khan also stated that the October 28, 2022 episode of Dynamite was the most watched ever on ITV, drawing an average viewership of 201,000 people. NXT live on the USA Network Tuesday drew 664,000 viewers, holding steady with last week's 670,000, according to Showbuzz Daily. Though total viewership was similar, this week's episode of the show had a 15.38% increase in the key 18 to 49-year-old demographic, with a rating of 0.15 up from last week's 0.13. That's according to Russellnomics. Nevertheless, the show's ranking in the cable top 150 for the demographic tumbled from number 22 last week to 40th place this week during the United States midterm elections. According to Post Wrestling in Canada, NXT averaged 51,000 viewers, including 24,000 in the country's most valued demographic, 25 to 54 years old. Post notes that NXT did not rank amongst the top 10 sports programs in the country on Tuesday, which was led by the National Hockey League's Toronto Maple Leafs against the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And now with some AEW news, here's the Wrestling News' Lou Kipilman.
Dustin Rhodes gave an update on his status. and addressed rumors that his 34-year wrestling career might be coming to an end during an appearance yesterday on Sports Guys Talk Wrestling.
I was feeling a little old because of my knee, and it was taking me a little longer to recuperate from it, but now it's like, once it went over the hill, it was like, great, now I got it, it's good to go. But I am getting older, and they're getting younger and faster, and I know my time is short, so I'm just trying, I still have a year under contract, or a little less than a year, and I'm just going to try to do the best I can and entertain as much as I can.
The 53-year-old Rhodes discussed his recovery from knee surgery and stated he expects to be back in the ring in about 2 weeks. He's been out of action since injuring his knee during his match with then ROH World Champion Claudio Castagnoli on the August 26th edition of Rampage. For the Wrestling News, I'm Lou Kipilman.
In National Wrestling Alliance news, another NWA talent has given notice to the company, with Fightful Select reporting yesterday that wrestler and announcer Taryn Terrell has stated she gave notice last month, confirming information that came to the attention of the Wrestling News on Tuesday. Similar to the case of former NWA World Champion Nick Aldis, who gave notice to the NWA last weekend and was suspended by Billy Corgan on Monday, Terrell cited dissatisfaction with the creative direction of the company. She also expressed a safety-related concern, indicating that NWA officials ignored her complaints of a possible head injury following a match. In news from outside the ring, in a report from Betting.com, Mick Foley was named as the highest-earning sports personality on the personalized video messaging app Cameo, bringing in nearly $500,000 to date. Bret Hart, Matt Hardy, and Danhausen were also among the top 10 sports personalities on the app, in a list compiled by analyzing more than 1,000 athlete Cameo accounts. Pro wrestling was named as the highest-earning sport on the app overall, despite the NFL having the highest average cost per video. Wrestling's total earnings on Cameo to date were listed at $1.251 million, with an average earning of $35,744 per individual wrestler. In news out of Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah and Dragon Gate have announced the lineup for Friday's co-promoted Global Dream Show that will be streaming on CyberFight's Wrestle Universe network. The show's main event will feature Noah's Global Honored Crown World Champion Kaito Kiyomiya teaming with Dragon Gate's top title holder, the Open the Dream Gate champion Yuki Yoshioka, against Keno and Kota Minoura. Other key matches on the show are scheduled to be Shun Skywalker and Tadasuke against Amakusa and Takuma Fujiwara, and Yamato against Seiki Yoshioka. It was also announced that Dragon Gate's Yosuke Santamaria has been pulled from the card due to a back injury. Show begins at 6:30 p.m. in Tokyo, which is 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If results are available before we go to air Friday morning, we will have them for you here. And to close our newscast today, our final report contains spoilers for Friday's upcoming AEW Rampage on TNT. If you wish to not hear any of these spoilers, we'll give you a moment to make your decision, and please remember to follow us across all of our forms of social media. Coming up on AEW Rampage, Brian Cage defeated Dante Martin, and Bandito defeated Rush, so both will advance in the AEW World Title Eliminator Tournament. Nyla Rose defeated Kayla Sparks, and afterwards she was attacked by Jade Cargill and the Baddies. And Orange Cassidy defeated Lee Johnson to retain the All-Atlantic Championship. The match between Ricky Starks against Lance Archer didn't occur because Archer attacked Starks backstage, and Luchasaurus chokeslammed Jungle Boy Jack Perry through steel chairs during a segment with Christian Cage. And before we leave you today, we'd like to remind you that however you consume your content, you can find the wrestling news 24 hours a day and 7 days a week across social media. On Twitter, follow us at Wrestling News AV. Our Facebook page is also Wrestling News AV. The Wrestling News can also be found on the Arcadian Vanguard YouTube page. And for those who utilize Amazon Echo devices, just tell Alexa to play the Wrestling News podcast. And remember to make sure you add podcast at the end. Once again, for daily updates, breaking news, and more, follow the Wrestling News across social media. And that's the news for today. If anything happens, we will be here to tell you about it. No clickbait, no paywall, just the wrestling news. The Wrestling News is a division of Arcadian Vanguard, and the Wrestling Newscast is a production of the Arcadian Vanguard Podcast Network.